Hi, Leo. Welcome to your forecast for February 4th. And we are going to be having a new moon that will be happening. And I'm going to pull up a chart here to give you a better idea of what to expect for February 4th, which is a new moon. Now, new moon is the time when you want to be focused on new start. You want to be focused on manifesting whatever you're trying to do. So, whatever you're working on, if you're working on a project, working on something that's going to help you move forward in your career, in your family life, wherever, then this is the new moon that you want to maximize. Now, I'm going to focus specifically on the houses and where the new moon is going to be happening for you. It's going to be different for every Leo, but for rising Leo, this forecast is going to resonate a lot more than it would if you're, let's say, you're a sun Leo with the sun in a different house. Okay, so the new moon is going to be happening in your seventh house, and that's really good news because for those of you who are already in a relationship, you might be starting new with your partner. Um, you might be starting something new with your partner and starting fresh with them. Maybe you guys had a little bit of a falling out, or maybe something you guys are working on together is new. You could be starting a new business. You could be um, also looking, to start a new relationship with somebody. It could really vary in different ways. So the idea is that you're starting something new in your seventh house, which is the house of marriage. It's the house of relationships, your partner, because it's in the opposite house. And you could have had, in the last couple of months, you could have had some issues with a partner, or something might have ended with a partner as well too. That could have been, or something could have ended with yourself. Maybe somebody stopped something with you. It could play out in different ways, but really what I think the way it's going to play out for most of you, if not all, I would say maybe like, anywhere between 85 to 90% of you, either it's going to be, you're working on a relationship that you're already in, you're starting fresh and new, and you have a better understanding. So you kind of, either your partner or you laid out on the table how you want things to go on here on out. So maybe there was some sort of communication in regards to, okay, this is how things are going to go on here and now. We have an agreement now. Or you could just be starting a new relationship, or you could be looking for a new relationship, or maybe somebody has their eye on you as well too, because the seventh house is all about the other person. So there's something going on with another person in your life. It could be also you're making arrangements with somebody else to arrange some business projects. So maybe you have a project that you're working on that's in relation to your business or in relation to somebody else's business. Either way, on or around February 1st, February 4th, you're going to be working a lot with other people, and there's new beginnings happening there. Now, just to recap, on January 21st, there was a full moon lunar eclipse in your first house, and that was in Leo. So that could have been really intense, especially for those of you who have birthdays around July 23rd all the way to July 31st. So there could be definitely some things that are playing out in your life right now, or were playing out in your life that came to an end. So, the good thing about this new moon is that it's a new start. It's time to start something fresh. It's time to start something new. It's time to let go of the old. That's what a new moon is. A new moon is a time when the sun is in conjunction with the moon, so you're shedding light on something new, and it's time to move forward. That's what it is. So I'm going to jump right into the reading for you, and I'm going to look at your chart. So some of the things that I want to chat about for Leo is that for this new moon, it's conjunct, not conjunct, sorry, it's in aspect to Saturn. So that means that there needs to be a lot of discipline in whatever, if it's your relationship or it's a new business you're starting, there needs to be some sort of structure and discipline. You can't just go off and kind of just do things on a whim, you know. There should be structure there, and there should be some sort of responsibility and reliance on both parts. So not only on your part, but on that person's part. And it's important that you analyze that and make sure that that's something that is going to manifest for you in your projects or whatever you're working on. Now, the important thing too is that in your fifth house, another reason why, like, I personally think that this has a lot more to do with romance and relationship than it does starting for new businesses. For some of you, I would say at least 20% of you, maybe even more of you, that because you have Jupiter in your fifth house. So I definitely see, and the fifth house represents romance, it represents children, it represents animals, it represents sex. It's your house. So, sometimes with a new moon, and I'm not saying every full moon, but with this, or sorry, not with every new moon, but with this new moon, you know, you have Jupiter in your fifth house. Now it's not aspecting the new moon, that's fine, but it's still there, so it still matters, right? And because Jupiter is in your fifth house and it's in a fire sign, it's in its home sign, which is Sagittarius, there's a potential for romance to be happening. Or maybe you just had children, or maybe, you're getting a new pet or something like that. So, you know, I really think that this has a lot to do with a partnership that you're in, this new moon, and you're starting something fresh and you're starting something new. And that's great, because here's the thing, Leo has just went through a huge lunar eclipse. We had the moon nods in our sign for the past 2 years. So there was a lot of pressure on you. There's a lot of pressure to perform and to do things. And now it's kind of like, everything's kind of, you know, weaseling down now, and things are starting to change, and things are starting to open up for your relationship as well too. So that's a very beautiful thing for Leo, because I think Leos have went through a lot, especially in their relationships with other people, considering that Mars was retrograde a couple of months ago in August around our birthday, and so it was a bit challenging, right? But now, I think we're going to be focused more on our family and our work life. That's the main thing for us, because the nods have changed now, and that's a big thing for Leo. Another thing I want to mention, and I'm going to keep mentioning this in all my videos, because I want to keep you updated. I want to keep you updated on things that are to come, things that are going to happen. Not as like a fortune teller, but as just preparing you for, you know, preparing you for energies, because this is what astrology is about. It's about the energies that are manifesting in your life, and to be prepared for them, because it's, if you're looking for something to be 100% all the time, it's not. Nothing is, even the spray that you spray in your home, as freshener, isn't 100%. It's like 99.9999%. And even then, it's not even that much. So nothing is guaranteed, nothing in life. But what I could tell you is, I could tell you that things are definitely changing and getting better for you. And now, you may have been putting other people first. You may have been telling people that, you are okay, but really you're not okay. Or maybe you've been putting this mask on. And I think what's going to happen now is you're going to start telling people what you want, and you're going to be honest with them, and you're not going to care what they think anymore. And that's great, because for the longest time, wearing a mask and pretending that we're okay and things aren't really okay, it's not cool, right? It's better to be honest than to sit down and just have this like, you have to have a balance in your life, right? It's important to have a balance. So there's definitely a lot of communication in your partnership area in the seventh house. There's definitely a lot of communications with potential business partners or people that you're going to work with. There's communication in your relationship if you have one. If you don't have one, there's potential to have a new one or to bring on a new one in the month of February. And it's also possible to have a bit of romance throughout this year because Jupiter is in the fifth house. Now, I really want to do videos on Jupiter because Jupiter is like, it's the, wherever Jupiter touches in your chart, whether you're a rising Leo or not. And I highly recommend that you look at the other videos, for all your signs, rising, moon, and sun. But wherever Jupiter is in your chart, it's literally like a bonus for you for the year. And who's not going to want to maximize that, right? You want to maximize as much as you can Jupiter wherever it is in your chart. So that's the key there with that. Now, another thing too is that Aries is going to be moving out of, Mars is going to be moving out of Aries in the month of March. So what does that mean? It means that for February 4th, you have to get ready for a transition that's going to happen. See, here's the thing about the lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse, people are so interested in looking at videos during the lunar eclipse. I mean, it skyrockets. Everybody's like, I need to know how this lunar eclipse is going to affect me. But here's the thing. Just because it happens, it doesn't mean that's it. All the changes are going to happen over time. Okay, they're going to happen over time. It's not going to happen just like boom, one day you wake up and then like the world is like over. No, it's going to take time. So here's the thing, that my message for you for February 4th is get prepared for changes that are going to happen slowly in February. So, things are slowly going to be swept out. Things that you regret, things that, were challenging for you during January 21st are not going to be as challenging for you once all those things are kind of swept out and like moved aside. Because I know that there was a lot of emotions there. There was a lot of pain there. Maybe somebody, there was abandonment. Maybe there was, you seen somebody's true colors for what they really were, whatever the case may be. Maybe you were letting go of something. That is natural. That's natural for a person to go through. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're not worthy. It doesn't mean that things aren't going to work out for you. It just means that new things are coming in, and sometimes it's painful. It's like a cut, like it's like a wound that it's dirty, but you have to clean it out just so that, in the future, everything can be better. So with Mars moving out of Aries and Uranus moving out of Aries as well too, that's a change for everybody. It's not just a change for Leo, but here's the thing. Whatever change affects the other person, which is in your seventh house, okay, it's gonna affect you as well too, because partnerships affect one another. It's not, even though Aries is not in your partnership section, it's opposite. It's opposite. It's opposite Libra. So it's partner, like the seventh house is ruled by Libra and the opposite is Aries. So whatever is happening in Aries is going to affect the seventh house, which is ruled by Libra, partnerships. So, there's a trend that's been going on for you, I think, for a very long time. And, that trend's going to come to an end, whatever that trend may be. And it's going to apply to everybody differently. But the key here is that gradual changes are going to assist with everything, with your relationships, with your money. Business is in relation to money. That's why the seventh house is connected to that as well too. So, and you might be starting something new in business. And and when you start something new in business, you don't really have momentum. Meaning, it's like you don't have that much weight when you start something out. Everything's kind of light and it's fluffy and, there's no history to it. There's no record. So there's no stability there yet. So don't give up. You know, this is a time to start new, push forward. Okay? Which is a beautiful thing for you. It's a very beautiful thing. As long as you have discipline, because you have Saturn in your sixth house. So you could be working out with a partner. You could be you know, eating healthier too. Eating healthier is so important for you too, because you know, Saturn in the sixth house is that's where Capricorn is. So your sixth house, that's ruled by your sixth house. So it's important for you to eat healthy. That's what you're focused on, eating healthy. You want to eat healthier. Maybe before you were eating junk and garbage, and now you're like, okay, I gotta cut down on my sugar. I gotta cut down on these things. I gotta, right? So that's the key too. And that's going to be in connection to a partner. So if there's a partner in your life that's been eating junk, or like they, you know, they're eating fat foods or whatever, you're probably going to be like, okay, listen, we got to start something fresh here. We got to start something new here, because the way we're eating right now is not cool. So that's what I mean by having discipline in your partnership and starting something new. Now, if you're single, and it doesn't have to be, this partnership doesn't have to be like a relationship. It can just be like a friendship, or, you know, maybe somebody who lives in your house or something like that. It can be a mom, a dad, or whatever, because we have different types of relationships. But mainly the seventh house focuses on your romantic partner, right? Like the person you're married to, or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Um, but the seventh house is directly affected by the sixth house in this new moon. So there needs to be structure in these two areas of your life. In the health sector, you know, like going to the dentist and checking your teeth, making sure your teeth are okay, because the sixth house is also ruled by dentists as well too. Okay, so just keep those things in mind. Those are the areas that are affected. Those are the areas that you want to shed light on, Leo, and make sure that you're getting things done. What else is there for me to tell you? So the sun, your ruler, is currently in Aquarius. So you could be doing a lot of community work, or you could be getting involved in community work as well too. Um, and it's important for Leo to be social around this time, because Aquarius is a very social sign. It's an air sign, and wherever you see the sun, that's where, you know, the sun is going to be doing all of its work, right? So anytime the sun moves signs, which it has, it just recently moved out of Capricorn. So you might have been working really hard on some projects recently. Again, it's not going to apply to everybody. It's only going to apply to a certain set of Leos, because some of you are not rising Leos, and that's how I'm reading the chart, through the rising sign mainly. Okay, so that's the forecast that I have for you in terms of the astrological components, the areas that you need to focus on, and what energies are going to be associated with that. Now I have a deck of cards here. It's an oracle cards, and what I do is I do three cards, and these three cards are going to give you an idea of clarification on what you should be doing for February 4th. So for some of you who the reading may have resonated with you, the forecast may have resonated with you, but now I'm going to do a reading with the cards, and it's just going to conclude the energies that I talked about and that you could be expecting. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, I want you to put out into the universe your question for February 4th. Make sure that the question is relevant to February 4th. You don't want to do a question that, you know, talks about something that happened in the past, because we're over the past. We're moving forward now. We want to shed light on new beginnings. We don't want to be stuck in the past. Okay, so if you have a question in regards to a partner, maybe you're in a relationship, you have a question about that. It shouldn't be a yes or no answer. It should be an open-ended question, so that you can get the proper card with the proper energy on it. And that energy is going to give you an idea of what to expect and how to go about dealing with the situation. So it should be in relation to February 4th, or maybe you're manifesting something in a business and how that's going to work out. So you're going to pick either card 1, 2, or 3, and each card is going to be related to this February 4th event that's going to happen with the new moon. So you can't pick all 3. It has to be, you pick either 1, 2, or 3. Put your question out there. Think about your question. I'll give you some time to think about a question here just so everyone can gather their question. And what I'm going to do as you think about your question, here's the book, the Oracle book. I'll tell you a little bit about this book. It's an Egyptian oracle. So what I do is if I have a question, I shuffle the deck and then I pull out a card, and then it gives me an idea about energy surrounding that sign or surrounding that event that's happening in my life. I'll tell you right now, this book it's rarely wrong. Like, it's rarely wrong. Usually it's on point. Not even usually. I can't think of one time that I used this book and it didn't work for me, or use these cards and it didn't work for me. I've done it for friends as well too, and it's worked for me 100%. So if you have your question, I'm going to start shuffling the cards. Make sure that you pick 1, 2, or 3. You have to pick 1, 2, or 3. Okay. So pick 1, 2, or 3. If you pick 1, then this is going to be the card that's pulled out, 2 for the next card that's pulled out, and 3 for the third card that's pulled out. Okay. Universe, what information do you have in regards to February 4th, new moon, for the sign of Leo? What message, universe, do you have for Leo? Card number 1 for February 4th, new moon. Whoop! Bunch of cards fell out. Okay. So hopefully you have your question now. Okay, so this card fell out. I'm going to use this card because usually, yeah, usually that's the message from the universe. So this is what you've got. It's Nefertem. So I know I mentioned partnerships. So partnerships usually involve people. So this looks like a person here. So this could be the person that's either coming towards you or the person who is already with you, maybe in your partnership. So I'm going to read about it. You know, you want to make sure you have discipline with your partnerships, Leo. And it's going to be very easy for you because it's a beautiful aspect. This new moon is a beautiful aspect. I mean, there's no squares, there's no oppositions. I mean, what more do you want? So this is going to be very good. I have a feeling this is going to be very good. And it always is good. Because Leos are optimistic. We don't like being negative. Okay, so it says deity 9. Okay, so these people appear to be very much a law unto themselves. They can walk into the most highly stressful environments and walk out again completely unscathed. They are very good company and excellent friends, and they have very little concept of time, disappearing and reappearing completely unexpectedly. This could also be you as well too. Could apply to you as well too if you don't have a partner. And this could be what you're attracting. They are very persuasive, yet when they have reached a decision, they themselves can be very stubborn, rarely changing their minds. Certain complications arise in the love life as they tend to be seeking perfection in their partners. Consequently, the grass can frequently seem greener on the other side of the fence. So maybe there's something, you know, again, I mentioned partnerships. Partnerships are coming up here in the confirmation reading that I did for you. So however you want to take that, you know, you can always rewind the video and listen to me read it again. But it sounds to me like there's something involving a partner, and there needs to be a new start. You need to put your foot down and you need to say, this is how I want things to go. Or maybe that's how a partner is towards you, and there needs to be some sort of compromise, or maybe, you know, however else that's going to be working in your life. To me, it sounds like it's involving a partnership. And that's what I said in the reading, right? Seventh house. Let's do card number 2. Okay, what message does the universe have for Leos who chose card number 2? So put your question out in the universe. Make sure it's out there for the universe to know. And, you know, if you're going to say your question, say it out loud. Don't just like whisper it in your brain. Say it out loud, okay? So what message, universe, do you have for Leos who chose card number 2? I love this oracle. It's, you know, it's rarely is it wrong, ever. Sorry, not even rarely. It's always on point. Always on point. What message do you have for Leo? Oh. Okay. We have another, this looks like an animal. It could be a person as well too, but it says Matt. Let's see what that has to say for you. Bear with me, I'm pulling it up now. Where is Matt? It's hiding. Man, this message is hiding. Let's see. This is weird. Why can't I find it? Okay, Leo, I needed some time to check it out, but here I got it. It says events are moving in the background. Okay, so make sure that all the facts are known before proceeding. So whatever business that you're doing, if this was a business question, it sounds like you need to make sure that all the facts are there. That's why Saturn is there helping you to be that way. As events are moving in the background, play a waiting game and do not divulge confidential information. This is the X file of the inexplicable. Under the influence of this pylon, we may quickly make our plans to be put into action at a later date. Be diplomatic, as other people may well react unsympathetically to concepts that don't meet their approval. Probably because they prefer the more traditional approach and are not open to new ideas. A negative aspect of this pylon is that there may be some coldness or detachment. That can make sense because Aquarius can be cold and detached because they're universalized. Try to remember that in an intricate situation, the truth of the matter may be so simple that it is beyond our understanding. Yeah, try to remember that in an intricate situation, the truth of the matter may be so simple that it is beyond our understanding. So, yeah, that was for number 2. And we're going to do number 3. So, what information do you have for Leo who chose number 3? Let's pick a card. Hopefully number 2 clarified for you what your question was. You can always rewind the video and go back and kind of analyze what the universe has to say about that. What does the universe have to say about Leo number 3, who chose number 3 for February 4th, new moon? What's going on with Leo? February 4th, new moon. I have a very random way of shuffling. These cards are a bit like hard, so it's difficult to shuffle any other way. February 4th, Leo. That's a beautiful card. Victory. I like that card. Let me read what it says for you, Leo. Point of realization. So you're realizing something. Targets can be reached and ambitions realized. Although this appears to be most encouraging, the benefits will be in proportion to the effort we have made in the past. We have to remember nothing comes from nothing. This is an excellent card to find into connection with academic possibilities and examinations of all kinds. It also sets the tone for some time ahead, since our current attainments create secure foundations on which we can build in the future. Our victories are hard won. Let none take them from our grasp. So whatever you're working on towards, whether it's a business or a partnership, you will see victory. Okay, just keep working hard like you have been, Leo. And again, thank you so much for tuning in to my reading for you and forecast. Please subscribe to the channel and also check me out on Instagram. You know, I have some daily updates on there as well too. Snapchat, and please stay connected, okay? So this has been a pleasure, and it's Monica Love Bits with your bits for business, spiritual business, and just life events, okay? So from one Leo to another, you got this, Leo. Okay, you've been through a lot, so let's keep pushing, all right? See you later.